Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. We're talking real estate now with Jay Marks. He's with Jay Marks Real Estate. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad to be here.
Now, every time I turn around, DFW is making another list of best places to buy a home, best places to sell a home. What makes DFW so special?
Well, like your previous guest said, we have between 800 and 1,000 people moving here almost daily. Dallas-Fort Worth has got all these new industries coming in, Toyota, Kubota Tractor, among others, State Farm with their new campus in Plano. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is an incredible place of growth and job opportunity, has been for decades.
So when you talk to realtors across the country, like a realtor from Detroit, I mean, that person has a different experience.
Completely different experience. One thing that I've learned is all real estate is local. So when you watch a national news broadcast and are telling you something about the real estate market, pay attention to what's happening actually where you live.
Okay. So, Jay, how did you get into the business?
It was an accident.
Was it?
Yeah. I was in the Army, and I wanted to become an air traffic controller. And I needed to find a way to pay for my family, and I would say support my family, while I was going to college to get my degree to become an air traffic controller. And so I noticed all these lawns needed mowed and houses needed paint and touched up that had for sale signs in it, and it didn't make sense to me. So I put together a presentation and went to all these real estate brokers, knocked on their doors, and asked them if I can be their lawn, grass, mow the grass, paint the houses, take care of everything. And I guess I did a good job because she asked me to come in and talk further and talk to me about becoming a real estate agent.
No kidding. And that was almost a quarter of a century ago.
In 1993.
Wow. Okay, so you've seen some ups and some downs in real estate since you got into the business.
I sold real estate at 12% interest, and I've sold real estate at 3% interest.
So what is going on with interest rates? Because, for years now, we've heard on the news, well, you better lock in now. You better lock in now because they're about to go up. How can they stay so low for so long?
Well, part of it, in my opinion, and I'm not an economist, I'm a real estate agent. I love it when they're low. I take advantage of what's happening now. Part of it is through the administration trying to keep interest rates low so they can keep the economy going. As you know, all good things come to an end, and you can't keep them unrealistically low forever. So things are going to change. There's talk of a market shift happening in our industry right now. At the same time, Dallas-Fort Worth keeps getting new jobs, new opportunity.
So I know there's a lot of people saying, well, we're overdue for a recession where, this is if you bought a home now, you're buying at the top of the market. What do you say?
I say a little bit of both. I like the word correction instead of recession. I also see incredible opportunity for growth. The builders, I always watch the builders. Mm-hmm. And when I see these builders building and building and building and building, there's no way a builder is going to go and speculate on a 100-lot community without some idea of what the economy is doing. So I want you to know I'm a positive thinker. I don't look at the negative. And as a personal real estate broker, whether the market is good or bad, I know what I'm going to do in either market to advise my clients.
So when somebody is selling a home, what advice do you give them about little things they need to do to kind of spruce up the house to make it look presentable?
Well, we do everything from bring in our own. We have stagers that we contract with that we absolutely love. So shout out to Debbie out there. Mm-hmm. She knows who she is. We bring in our stagers. We bring in professional photographers so we know what we want the house to look like. We tell people, and we know you still have to live here, but now it's no longer your home. It is now a house, and it's now a showplace. And I remind them all, just like when you go to sell your car, you're going to go to the car wash. They think nothing of going to the car wash and cleaning and making their car look awesome.
Right.
But you tell them to move some furniture and put away some magazines, maybe thin down a closet, and you see people start to have strokes. So it's kind of funny.
I'm sure you run into that couple where the husband has used the spare bedroom as his junk pile, and you go in there and there's books and a moose head and it's just floor to ceiling. What do you can't just cordon off that room and not show it to the buyers. You got to clean that room out, don't you?
Well, in preparing a house, I tell people I'm going to tell you some things very directly as a real estate professional. Many times we realize that we're in someone's home and it is their house, and we ought to keep in mind something. Moving is one of the big three stresses. The other two are death and divorce. moving is very difficult because you're literally uprooting your entire family, and you're going to pack it up and you're going to move. So we always approach it with some tender sound in our voice. So we tell people directly what they need to do to get their home ready. We have found that the people that listen to us, and we always share this, if you'll listen to what I'm about to share with you, you'll get better results.
Do you find that most people are a little bit overly optimistic at what their home is worth, and you're one of the first things is you're trying to bring them down to, okay, your home is not quite worth as much as you think it is?
Well, everyone has the most beautiful baby when they're born. There's no baby as pretty as our baby, right?
Exactly.
And there's no house as great as mine. And it's really also all the realtors out there, and just so you know, every single realtor out there, they're number one. And so, yeah, they're all number one, and they all do the very best. And so we just keep that in mind. We do market evaluations as a team. I'm a real estate professional, and I do expect them to give some credit to what I have to say. At the same time, I want them to discover the value with me. So we'll look at the market information together, and together we'll come to a price that makes sense.
Is there ever an impasse where you say, okay, I need to fire my buyer or seller?
Yes, there is, and I've been fired before too. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I'm going to be honest.
So what do you pride yourself on in terms of separating yourself from the market?
I think the number one thing that separates J-Marks Real Estate, first of all, I have my name on it, so I want everything to go well. I talk to my team, and we have two things we count on. We want to be well-respected, and we want to do a really good job, and we want everyone to know it. We're not really worried about being number one. We're not worried about being the, quote, greatest. We want everyone to know, you know what, that real estate firm there, they do a really good job, and they do an honest job. And as long as we focus on that as a team, we always get great results for our customers.
I was just talking to a realtor last night who came back from Prosper and said that Prosper is really has changed tremendously in the last 5 years. Are you doing any business up in Prosper?
Well, we sold a house in McKinney this morning. Nina, hello Nina, she's out there listening right now. She's putting together a deal in McKinney right now, and she's going from McKinney over to Argyle. So we're all over the place. Prosper used to be this incredible, beautiful field, but I do have a statistic I'll share with you. Yesterday alone, 427 houses came on the market. Wow. Yesterday alone, 215 went under contract in the last 3 days, 215 went under contract. We have 293 closings yesterday in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And this data, to quantify it, is Dallas, Denton, Tarrant, and Collin counties.
Wow.
But can you imagine almost 420 houses going on the market in one day?
It's a hot market.
So, back to school time is happening right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of people focus on getting ready for school. So you see this surge in June and July, people looking to move and be settled so that their kids can be in school and registered, et cetera. And then we notice a little bit of a little bump in August, and then September is always a large listing month. So they're getting ready to sell hopefully before the holidays. So it's cyclical.
Right. When's the best time to put your home up for sale?
With J-Marks, 365 days a year.
Good answer.
Yeah, you bet.
What are some of the areas that you see? If somebody wanted to buy a home kind of out in the country, but it's going to be the next boom town, where are you telling them to locate? Where they're
we call those exurbs. Okay.
Okay.
Do you remember back probably 8-9 years ago, Waxahachie, Midlothian was little quiet towns, and now they're doing really well. They're big. Highway 67, 287, all connecting toward the south. Same thing going points north. The Dallas Tollway going north up through Collin County has awakened Salina, Prosper, and those areas. Highway 380 was a 2-lane road just 8-9 years ago, and now you have McKinney all the way to Denton. You can do that in 20 minutes. There's these all points north and around the area are working. Even where I am, I'm in Denton County. We're looking at growth out there in Justin and Argyle and northwest of there. It's incredible.
What about real estate investing? What do you say to somebody who's thinking, okay, they've got their primary home, but they're thinking about buying a second home to rent? Is that a good idea?
I think it's the greatest idea. I think everybody should have 1 or 2 rental properties personally. And I don't say that just because I want to sell it to them. I say that because real estate has forever been the greatest asset you can own. Think about it. If you bought a house right now, I'm going to just raw numbers, maybe a $200,000 house, and you had a $1,500 a month payment on it, and you rented it for $1,700 a month for the next 20 years, someone else paid off that loan for you.
Right.
And now, 20 years later, your kid is ready to go to college. You can either go sell it or borrow against it to pay for college. And then refinance it, or if you wanted to. And 20 years later, you're ready to retire. It's paid off again. So literally that house can supplement kids' college, or maybe if you had something happen to you, you needed some funds, you can borrow against it, and definitely for your retirement.
Is it more fun to represent the buyer or the seller?
Yes.
You don't care.
No, you know what? There are challenges in both, and both are fun. I love putting a house on the market because I want to, first of all, see if I'm right in my pricing and my strategy. I love it when it works. I love getting multiple offers from my sellers because I'm able to say, look how well our plan worked. At the same time, when I'm representing a buyer, I'm hoping there aren't multiple offers. I'm hoping that I just timed it right where we can get that house. Bottom line is there's nothing neater than a text message I got literally moments before I came on from Vince, who just bought his first house in Corinth. And he just said, I just mowed my yard for the first time today. He never owned a house before.
Wow.
And so that was kind of neat, you know. And sometimes people go in there and they got brand new carpet, brand new paint. Or they feel really good about their new house, the smell of it. We call it new house smell.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. I've seen a couple people carry their brides over the front door, over the altar.
That's special. I mean, what's the
Threshold, not the altar.
What's the highlight for you? I mean, is it the closing and the high five? And I mean, what gets you?
What gets me, I would say, is my team. I am about the people that have all signed on to work with me and for me. You know, I feel a responsibility to them, and I like it when my goals help them achieve their goals as a family or as individual. And then in return, we have a goal to sell about 100 homes a year with our team. We have a team of 5, and hitting that number is awesome. And then we move the number up, obviously.
I used to do a lot of public speaking, and I would speak to the Texas Association of Realtors convention, and there was a statistic I heard that 95% of all realtors wash out in the first year. It takes a little bit of stick-to-itiveness to be a realtor, doesn't it?
It does. I have been teaching new agents for years, and I used to teach in the licensing course in the late 90s. We found that about 87% are gone in the first 24 months.
Because they watch it on TV, flip this house or $1 million listing, and they think it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And also, there's nothing worse than being told no, or having a door shut in your face, or having someone yell at you. Sometimes, remember, you got to keep in mind, this is a tough thing, buying and selling. It's actually not buying and selling, it's moving. And so one thing we do at my firm is we try to set the expectations. You know, sometimes we have deals that have to go back on the market. That happened to us this week. And we just let the client know, this is what happened, this is what we're doing. It's our goal to fix it. Sound good to you? Then we approach it.
What about somebody, maybe you're getting a home ready for sale and the kitchen looks like Marsha Brady decorated it from the 70s. I mean, do you ever advise clients, you know, before we list this, we may want to update this kitchen?
We did that just recently. Sold a house off of Campbell and Coit on the Richardson-Dallas border, and we put granite, some backsplash, did some paint, made a big difference, and we sold the house.
And is that, they always say there's some key rooms that are deal breakers. What are those rooms?
Kitchens and master bathrooms.
And what are they looking for? They're
looking for a nice updated master bathroom. There's something about the master bathroom that it's awesome. You walk into a master bath like, wow, this looks really nice. Think about it. That's where you get ready for work. That's where you come in at the end of the day. And same with your kitchen too. A lot of foodies out there. So
when you come into an older home, a home that was built in, say, the 50s or something like that, that's back when a closet was a small thing. My wife will tell you, okay, I could convert a bedroom into my closet. Things are changing.
Well, when people are buying a mid-century home, they also are buying a mid-century home. They know what they're getting. Some things can't be changed. And so we suggest contractors they could use. They want to do some expansion or things like that. I'm not going to have someone move a wall or anything like that. We might do some paint, carpet, change out some light fixtures or plumbing fixtures.
Let's talk about dumb things that people do. I heard that putting in a pool, it never pays off.
Yeah, that and coming on the radio. It's scary. I'll be honest.
That's right up there.
Yeah, no. Whoever puts the pool in had better really enjoy it because they're not going to get their money back. We're only going to give you roughly $12,000 to $17,000 credit for it for value going forward when we sell.
What are some other places that you would not want to remodel or invest in a home?
You know, the pool is obviously the biggest one. If you outdoor kitchens are nice. They get you a little bit more, but again, it's expensive. Again, things like that. Those are the two areas. Mainly, it's in the backyard, the pool, outdoor kitchen, things like that.
Have you seen people?
Don't convert your garage into a bedroom.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
You know, a long time ago, like I was born in a house. I was raised in a house that was built in the 50s and 60s, and so as our family was growing, Dad converted the garage, and that became my bedroom. Don't do that now, because people don't want a converted garage. They want the storage space and a place to put their car for the hailstorms.
Right. What are some other deal breakers when you're showing off a home for the first time? You said we talked about the kitchen and the master bath. Are there other things that?
Yeah, animals.
Really?
Well, like if you have pets, not everyone wants pets or has pets. You have to take it to the next level and make sure your house is clean and ready, especially if they've had an accident on the floor. You'll make sure that's taken care of. Get your carpet steam cleaned and enzyme treated, things like that prior to.
What about smoking? Do you find that's
major deal breaker?
Really?
It takes a lot. Takes a lot to get the smell of smoking out of a house. Even if you smoke outside, it's on your clothes. You can tell.
Okay, this may be an old wives' tale, but I've heard that some realtors will bake cookies or an apple pie or something just because that experience of walking into a home with some fresh,
I normally boil grapefruits and cinnamon in a pot of water and make a kind of a homemade potpourri.
Really?
Call it realtor soup. It works.
It does.
And I walked into a house in Louisville about 4 months ago, and there was a smell because a little son of hers had forgot to take out the trash. So I quickly took the trash bag, bagged it up, threw it in the garage, and I found some fruit and some cinnamon. I boiled it in a pot of water. The people came in and goes, "Wow, it smells so fresh." Little did they know, 5 minutes earlier, it wasn't the case.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was walking around with that pot of water, hitting all the fumes. It was kind of funny.
When you stage a home, does it pay off?
Absolutely, every time, every single time. And it took some convincing me in the beginning because I thought the market's hot, the house will sell itself. That is a falsehood. If you really want to get best dollar for your house, stage it and prepare it, and then show it off, and then hire J. Marks.
And bringing in a professional stager, should you stage it yourself or go get a pro?
Well, you can do certain things on your own, and there's plenty of things on the internet that show you how to do it. I always get a professional. So one of the things that we do, we offer a free staging consult where she comes in, does what we call the walk and talk, and she tells people what they need to do. Then they can choose to hire her afterwards.
Really?
And sometimes we help out with that too.
And tell me how expansive that is. Sometimes are they taking out all of the furniture and putting in all new furniture?
Sometimes we like to add furniture, and if there's some pieces that we think are too bulky or too old or whatever, we'll ask them to put that in storage. Sometimes we ask our sellers to go ahead and spend a couple $100s a month on some climate-controlled storage, so that way they can get things out of the way. But staging is very important.
What about curb appeal? Let's talk about that for a second. What do the buyers recognize as soon as they pull up to a home?
Well, I think your garden should be in order and your lawn should look nice. I just like start watering. If you know you're going to sell your house, water a little extra, get it greened up, mow it correctly, plant some flowers. And there's flowers that are colors 12 months out of the year in this market. Just put the right seasonal flowers in, plant them, and put some nice brown mulch out front. I think it's critical.
I know that no one stays in business as long as you've stayed in business by thinking short term. So I'm assuming that every deal you do, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I want their business again when it's time for them to sell. I want their brother, sister, uncle, aunt.
I'll tell you what. This summer, I sold some of my friends' and clients' kids' houses. That freaked me out. But I do want it. I want all the business I can handle. And then I'd like for people to stand in line and wait and let me get their business as well, naturally. The people that do contract with us, we want to have a great experience. We can't get them all, but we want to do a good job.
How important is it to build a good team around you?
That's probably been my greatest success is my team. My team is incredible, and I have their pictures right there in front of you. We have Nina, our buyer's agent, Carrie, who runs my office as marketing. Christy does our closing. My favorite team member is my wife, Stacy.
Love it.
Yeah,
good
she does
answer.
our bookkeeping and does all of our legal compliance and things like that and keeps us organized. Everything from ink in the printer, all that. She's awesome.
We're out of time. jmarksrealestate.com.
That's right. Thank you.